I just want to, I feel funny welcoming you to Kate's Kitchen Party, considering you have welcomed me to the mill and set up the table for us and let us film here. So I just want to thank you for
You're welcome.
for having
us. That's the premise. That's why we built it.
Yeah, and I just want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and maybe just talk a little bit about the mill.
I'm Rick Robertson, and I'm everybody knows the place with Willie Stevenson. Willie's always been the front man because Willie's the front man.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been behind the scenes pulling strings and propping them up and building what needs to be built and fixing what needs to be fixed and making Willie's dream happen.
And you're here and you keep the door open and you welcome everybody through that front door.
Oh yeah, everybody's welcome here. Everybody. The only couple of small rules: don't show up drunk, whacked out of your brains.
Yeah.
Be a civil human.
Yeah.
And have a love of music.
And respect the place and explore.
That's it. I mean, accidents happen. Yes, that's why I've had to learn how to fix all these things. But it doesn't matter. It was a picture Willie painted in my head 8 years ago.
Yeah, just to have a space where people could go, jam, borrow instruments. Whatever. You got a recording studio that you're setting up?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We can get an amazing house sound because the acoustics of the room is insane.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
And so through generous donations, countless, I couldn't even begin. Thank you, every one of you, who anyway. Yeah. We've got an amazing sound. We've got top of the line sound equipment.
Yeah. And so my husband Bill and I, but not everybody who's watching might know that we like to put on shows and stuff too. We like to think of ourselves a little bit, I think, like how would I put it, like artistic philanthropists is just very much kind of what you guys do too, right? It's philanthropy through the arts, through music, where we just really want to promote kids exploring. Learning how to play music, do sound and lights.
Ours was really, it was an awakening.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, actually.
We did the DEFA shows at the Legion every year, 2 days outdoors, beautiful time, rock and roll. We never even had as much as an injury, nothing, never. It was the coolest 8 days. I mean, 8 days without as much as a bad argument.
Yeah.
And thousands and thousands of people came in.
It's amazing.
So we always got this amazing stage.
Yeah.
Right? Big, and very expensive. So we were thinking, we were reflecting on when we were kids, and it was like, wow, it would have been cool. And Willie says, well, we should have a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
So we'll go to all the high schools, and we'll get them to have their own little music thing.
Yeah.
And then the winners out of each one, we're going to come down and play the big stage Saturday afternoon and open for a headliner.
That's amazing.
And give them some real experience.
Yeah.
We couldn't get a band out of the 3 high schools. The music had died. It was like...
It's super sad. I know we had attempted to do a Battle of the Bands last year too, and we put out feelers to see if there would be any like kids' garage bands or little, teen musicians who wanted to get together and compete, and it was crickets, and it really bummed us out. And I know that when we were dealing with COVID and everything, Bill and I actually went through a mourning period where we thought that live music was going to be done forever. We're like, oh my gosh, are we never going to go to another concert again? And I think it's one of the reasons why we've poured ourselves into it here. And just trying to get that love of music back, get those loud, we did that punk metal show here not long ago.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was at another function, but.
And, I went to, I'm from Sudbury, Ontario. It's a small town too, right? And, punk shows, we had ska, we had, but they're just grimy little garage bands, right? Kids just, they weren't good or anything, but it was fun. And it was despite the fact that a lot of people may not have understood the music, it was still very wholesome, right?
Yep. We had a punk band in here for Ribfest, Smite the Heathens.
Yeah.
And they were amazingly tight. And I'm thinking, a little bit more in these guys. And then, of course, they're quite fortunate how it worked out when we got all the information that they didn't quite. And it was like so close.
Yeah.
They could have made it. Just a few more votes and they could have done it. So that's why I said to Willie, I said, don't call them until I talk to Bill tomorrow, because I knew Bill had that show going up, and you got to hear these guys.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. And there is such a...
The synchronicity of that.
Yeah.
And so now when you were talking about the youth and of course us, and before I get sidetracked, which I'm bad at, we can book a night show of acts, and the oldest person might be 18.
Yeah.
And we can do it in 5 phone calls.
Yeah.
We've got Rising Resistors. Those guys still aren't old enough to drive here for rehearsal.
Yeah, but they play.
So there's kids that are jamming. They're
That's
finally
great.
coming out. And of course, Willie, if someone comes in and they want to learn, it's immediately he's playing matchmaker. Well, I know a guitar player and a drummer that need a bass player, and you want to play bass, and you guys all come. And now they got somewhere to come.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's and that's the other part of it, right? Because musical instruments can be incredibly expensive, or you just don't have, a lot of families just don't have the resources. But if they can get here, if they can just
don't know what they want to play. So we've had kids come in, I want to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
And then they hear a drummer, and it's like,
ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, maybe not. Or, I was listening to the bass player, or listening to that player, or, it's the foot in the door. It's the exposure to the environment that doesn't exist at the scholastic level.
Yeah.
It's all gone, right?
It's all the arts, yeah.
Except Westminster. I will give Westminster a shout out. I cannot remember the teacher's name, but he's running a little after school program himself, out of pocket, like us guys. Well,
well, and that's the thing. It has to be a individuals that come together and foster this, because it's not as prevalent in the schools as it used to be. There, you don't have access to instruments the way that kids used to have access to them, and there's just something about being able to just grab a guitar and sit down and just kind of just play.
Well, and again,
figure it out.
Nobody here can really read music, so Willie's under the premise 2 chords is great, 3's maybe a bit too much. And you can show just about anybody how to play
4 chords,
song.
you can play just about any song.
You
For real.
Really, I've seen him in less than 10 minutes, someone that's never played before, to starting to sort of strum Horse with No Name. It's his favorite to get him started. It's like 3 fingers, and that's it. And dead simple. Well, now you got them hooked, right? They can play a song.
They can play a song.
And it may not be the greatest, but they're having a lot of fun doing it. And it's I have no other better word other than voyeurism. I get to stand behind that board, and I watch hundreds of people out here just having a blast.
Yeah.
Like, gone.
Your reason
the whole
for it
world's
all,
gone.
Right? Yeah.
Everything's gone. There's no government. There's no politics. There's no social order. There's no nothing, because we're up here rocking to this one song.
Yeah.
And that's good for the brain.
It's so good for the brain. It's good for the people watching. It's good for the people listening. It's good for the kids who, and I remember when the first time I picked up a guitar, I had these tiny hands, right? I still can't do a power chord to save my life.
I've got tiny guitars.
Perfect.
Left-handed and right-handed.
Before you know it, an hour's gone, 2 hours gone, 3 hours gone. My fingertips are like fried because, I got calluses but there's just nothing kind of and you're right, everything else just kind of disappears when you're focused on that thing.
You can't serve 2 masters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's
an old phrase.
and there's just so much value in it, and the value that you're bringing to the community, and just letting people come here and explore that thing that's kind of gone away. And I think it went away with the live music, when everybody was kind of shut in, because the reason I loved music was because I love live music. Yes. I love listening to music, but it's the same thing with sports. There's nothing like being in a stadium or an auditorium.
Even if I'm listening to something up here, 9 out of 10 times, if I want to hear a certain song today, I'll go look for the live version.
Yeah.
Because I want to, and with the big screen here, we put it on, put it up, and you know, just have fun.
So we're kind of winding down to our last couple minutes together. I wanted to just take an opportunity to mention the Do It for Aaron, which is like the driving force behind the mill.
It is.
And you guys
Do
are
It
always...
for Aaron Foundation.
Yep.
We have a web presence. We're old schoolers. Forgive us. We're working on it.
We love you.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to push is our big show, October 20th.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bands. $1,000 in cash, $500 worth of recording time, a $500 paying gig at Ribfest next year.
Wicked
That's
prize.
going out in the afternoon.
Wicked prize.
After supper, a 6-piece band goes on stage and we're going to blow everybody away. Yeah. Everybody that's playing on this stage played on Riverfest big stage. They've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
And one of the bands might become, anyway, no. So anyway, our headliners for the night is a ZZ Top and a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute act.
Amazing.
We'll have links on our site. These guys, I bring it up, people go, oh, Stevie Ray. No, guy from Toronto.
Looks just like him, though.
Sounds like him, looks like him, plays like him, makes the hair on your arms go up like him. And the ZZ Top guys are absolutely full beard, the whole in costume, and as tight gets.
Yeah.
So all free. Come on out.
Family event, too.
Family
right?
event. We are licensed LLBO. It's the only way we can put a few dollars in our pocket. These shows aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Dane at Brockville Hyundai. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We didn't have a headliner.
Oh,
and everybody was at year end and nobody had any money. And we had it figured out, but back in our head it was like, no, we'd really like to. And then
that's amazing.
We ran into Dane at Ribfest and
as usual he steps up.
Listen, we got this idea, and he said, I don't have a lot, but here's how much I have. And the guy's just amazing in the community.
He really
is.
Yeah. I also wanted to give this to you. This is the money that we raised from our punk and metal show a couple weeks or last weekend.
No way.
Yeah, that's for Do It for Aaron. So that's from us at Solo.
Well, it's got your name on it.
Yeah, it's got my name on it, but it's from us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we love what you do. So
thank you.
We're grateful for you, and we're grateful for the instruments that you've helped us. You know, you've supported us, and you've always been super helpful.
Support anybody.
I know you do.
I really don't care.
I know you do.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really, honest to God, I don't care.
Oh, I know. I love it about you.
Yeah,
all right, so I just want to say thank you.
Another just a real last quick shout out. United Way, they make this happen.
Yeah.
All right. Big brothers, big sisters.
Yeah. All incredible. Yeah, we're so lucky in this area.
Before I get emotional, which I do, these guys, United Way says, how do you do this? I said, well, you guys pay the rent.
Yeah.
Well, what's that got to do with it? Well, you don't understand. Where we come from, if the rent's paid, we don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
And sometimes the rent wasn't paid and it was a concern. So rent's paid. That just cuts us. We can go run, do what we do. And here we are.
Make Brockville a better place for a lot of people. A lot of people. Yeah. Well,
that's the intent.
We adore you guys, and we're grateful for you.
Yeah, well, we're just getting started. The bunch of us.
We are.
So cheers.
Cheers.